right, those coming in love and light, greetings. I welcome you. Those that are coming in love and light, benevolence, pure, intentional energy, greetings to you. I welcome you and I thank you for stopping by here on TikTok Live. Hope y'all are doing well. If you are a good person, I'm going to be good. Now, I'm going to stall out a little bit. As you are coming in, if the title shows, it says, why toxic types hide behind ... So I'm giving the playbook. It's a part of why I'm targeted, but it's also a part of why I'm here on Earth. Why toxic types hide behind ... So let's talk about it. I invite you all to come in, of course, and share your own perspective, experiences and takes, as long as you remain positive, respectful. Otherwise, most of you out there know, Bloomy don't have a problem with blocking and ending and doing all that shit to purge, right? Because hopefully we're all adults coming in on here, and anytime we stumble across something that we don't like, that we don't agree with, that we don't jive with, we have the free will to exit what I call stage left, to go towards things that's more to our liking without putting out unnecessary negative energies based on our own projections of our own minds. Okay? Saves us some bad karma when we learn how to do that. Now, why toxic types hide? So, y'all know I like to make things simple. I like to demystify things. I like to bring it home. I like to make it basic and practical and true to life so that we can get our head out of the clouds. Ironically enough, you guys are looking at clouds, but so that we can get our head out of the clouds when it comes to understanding this stuff. Okay? So, let's just think about it. If you were a toxic type, would you have on a uniform and badge, and would you frequent places, toxic are us, or you know what I'm saying? What would you do? Think about that. Toxic types target spirituality and religion. Those are the two primary places. Well, I should say three: politics, spirituality, and religion. Okay? They target these three sectors, if you will, because first and foremost, it's where they can hide and disguise their true intention. It's also where they can energy harvest. It's also where they can gain power, possibly. Okay? Because if a toxic don't want to be found out, what would they do? That's why I said, do we think that they're going to have a badge? Whether this is literal in 3D or on their social medias, do you think they're going to have a badge, toxic or us? Come to our place, you know what I'm saying, where we are using your energy, bitch. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're not going to say that. Okay? It's the best way to have a disguise. It's the easiest way to have a cloak. It's the easiest way to not be easily detected. Because if you're a toxic and you're hiding in a sector of spirituality, or you're hiding in a sector of religion, or you're hiding in a sector of politics as Captain or Miss America, as a cover, they do this to throw people off the track. They do this so people will take down defense. They do this so they can also energy harvest. Let me tell you another reason why. They know that most, listen to me, especially the more sinister ones, the ones that's been doing ancient, evil, wicked shit since the beginning of time. They know that individuals that are going through spiritual awakenings, individuals that are going through healing processes, individuals, lost souls, hurting souls, they know that these types are going to run to at least one of the three I just mentioned. So if they're looking to target those that are here to awaken, they know that the process to that, when these individuals go through dark nights of the soul, they know that most people are going to run to religion and spirituality. They know that there's a lot of vulnerable people when they're in pain that's going to run to these places looking for help. So they know that in these arenas, they're going to find a divine feminine or masculine that's not awakened yet, searching for answers and truth to heal, and they're going to exploit that. Okay? They are fully aware that that's kind of the basic process of awakening and healing. That until one gets there, it's usually the search of truth. So they're going to go to a spiritual circle. Once you get free of the religion aspect, where you realize you see through the illusions of that, they're aware that then they're going to go seek a spiritual path. And there's people there to exploit that as well. This is why I talk about the importance of learning how to read energy, because toxic types aren't going to have on a badge that says toxic are us. That's not going to be on their building. That's not going to be on their social media. That's not going to be what they present. Okay? They're looking to locate divine beings, and they're looking to energy harvest off of vulnerable souls. People that are just distraught, lost, looking for help, hoping that someone would help, and they take full advantage of that. Okay? They do that so no one will detect. All we have to do, collective, is if we start demystifying shit, despiritualizing shit, and just bring it in practically. Truly toxic types want the illusion of being pristine. This is the only way they can get people to take down their guard. This is the only way they can convince people, and this is the only way they can distract people from seeing, right? From seeing. But once you think about this, that's the light bulb will eventually click on, like, oh, so I wouldn't see that they crazy. Oh, so I wouldn't believe the truth. They're going to always go into something that's going to be on the polar opposite spectrum of what they actually are, what they actually do. They always have a secret life, the toxic types. So by day, it's Reiki Master, Reiki Center, 1, 2, 3, with the appearance of trying to help all of these lives and souls that's looking for some metaphysical support. But behind the scene, it's people tampering with energy, violating spiritual laws in their ego, right? Taking advantage, right? Trying to harvest, feeding off of people's emotions, feeding off of people's energy. Okay? In the religious sector, it's the same thing. People coming in there broken and distraught, going through, loss, pain, suffering, dark nights of the soul, looking for answers, looking for support, looking for help. Okay? And a toxic soul hiding behind that is just going to exploit that so that you would take down your guard, so that you would trust them, so that they can feed, and so that they could slowly erode at your soul. Yeah. And if we really simplify this is going to make perfect sense. Because, honey, they're not going to have on a name tag. It's just not going to happen. They have a cover up. They know lost souls or people hurting is going to run to these arenas. So they're waiting. So what are you supposed to do with that? Once you can grasp that, then you're going to see the importance of isolation, learning how to train, heal and train, so that when you are reaching out, you're following your divine guidance. And when you're sensing something off, you're able to follow your guidance and not just look at, no, this is a Reiki center. Reiki center 1, 2, 3. They have a Reiki center. Everybody comes here. Everybody, they have, sage bundles and tarot cards. And, when we stay stuck on that thinking that this gotta mean that they are operating from a benevolent space or a mature, evolved soul, that's a dangerous assumption. Anything can be exploited. This is why it doesn't serve to base things on these external things, whether it's politics, religion, or spirituality. Toxic people hide in these arenas for a reason. They want people to see them in a certain light, first and foremost, because most toxic types are on some type of spectrum of severe narcissism. So they're craving the image that comes from these three arenas. Whether this be traditional religion, spirituality, or some type of politics. So they wear the uniform. They speak the language. All of the things that's going to be associated with these three sectors. They know vulnerable souls are going to run there. They know people that are going through trauma are coming. And they want to feed off of that trauma energy. They want to feed off of that fear energy. They want to feed off of emotional responses and all of these things. Am I saying that everybody in these sectors are toxic? No, we're identifying why toxic types have a tendency to hide in these sectors. Why, when you trace in, most of them have some kind of a strong link to one of the three. It's the greatest cover-up of all. Because no one is going to automatically suspect that something is wrong with them, that they're a possible sociopathic, that they're possibly psychopathic, or possibly criminally insane. Nobody's going to pick up on that because why? They're hiding behind sector, religious sector, spiritual sector, political sector. And if they wear all the right outfits, okay, come on, y'all, let's just get an image of this. Just bring this to your mind. If they wear all of the right outfits, they say all of the right things. It's the whole checklist of whatever these sectors represent. Okay? If it's spiritual, you guys know what that is. So they, doing the namaste, the prayer hands, the bowing, bitch, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Boom, bitch. Like, whatever those... Yeah. Or the religious sector. All of the right scriptures and quotes and got all the crosses around their necks and, you know what I'm saying, whatever. Putting a lot of money in the bucket, being at the conferences and the retreats and the all-night prayer and, whoop-de-whoop. So no one will think the otherwise. Especially if they're, kiss-assery. They know, these people know what to do to get people to not see their toxicity. It's all a cover. Their secret true lives be Total opposite. Total. It's a split. Some of them be behind the very toxic or tragedies that happen within these particular sectors. And unfortunately, most people that be a part of the sectors don't even catch a clue as to, they don't catch it. That, gosh, all of a sudden, all of a sudden, all of a sudden, connecting with these things, why weirdy shit is weirdy. All of a sudden, I started going to Reiki Center 123, and all of a sudden this weird shit happened. Why is this? They'll try to twist it and make it seem like, oh, it must be doing, nah. There's a link. Something's off. Right? Why all of a sudden I connect with this person, or I go to church 123, and you know what I'm saying, all of a sudden now it's something strange. This person came to the church, bitch, and this, I don't know now. Nobody catches it. Or the political arena, like, you know, if somebody's trying to say they stand for some kind of cause in political arena, but all of a sudden weirdy shit is like, yes, yeah, you got some toxic in the house, but they wearing the same uniform as you. They know that divine souls, innocent lives are going to go to all of these places. It's called a predatory energy. What do predators do? I invite you all to even look up that word. I know you know what it means, but I invite you all to look at that word, research it, and think about the nature of a predator. So what do predators do? They prey on something, right? So they know people traumatized are going to gather in certain places. So they, yeah. And they know the likelihood of light ones being found in one of those places, especially the beginning stages of their dark nights of the soul, while they're seeking truths, trying to get free. They know. It's one of their attempts to intercept and to stop the light ones while the light ones are seeking help and assistance and truth from people that should be operating. Yeah. It's the greatest cover up of all. That's why I tell people, get over these labels, get over these labels, get over the labels, get over the labels, get over the labels. Stop being impressed because somebody can say God, Bible, church, Reiki, sage. Like, get over it, get over it, get over it, get over it. One of the things I have to start learning how to do, especially once I started graduating through different phases, was when you're just in an observant place where you're watching and you're picking up on energy, not just what they're saying to you, not just what they're sending you, like you start settling back and just kind of watching. I've had to learn to watch what people do, but also what they don't do. Because what they don't do speak volumes too. I've had to learn how to gauge subliminal messages, body language, all of those types of things. And that's a good thing. See, the culture wants us to get rid of all of that and be overly focused on 3D stuff that can be trickery in that. People can say stuff to you And I'm not talking about paranoia collective. You're going to have to learn how to navigate through all of that kind of stuff to bring the balance, right? But people can say things to you like, "Oh, I'm your supporter and I will do," but you have to watch. Are they? Or are they just lurkers? I learned that. Like, yeah. Or people that are your supporter in secret because they're afraid of whatever's going to happen to them if they're your supporter publicly. But I got to a place where I'm like, well, if anybody, and I do mean anybody, if anybody is embarrassed to be a supporter of me publicly, I'm embarrassed to be connected to them privately. Yeah. Because it's a reveal. I had to learn, like, that is a reveal of their condition, their character, their development, and what's important. When you get to a phase of maturity in life, you really do stop caring. You stop overly caring about how something is going to look. And if people aren't there yet, then they don't deserve my full presence. That's how I feel about that. If they haven't graduated, then they're not ready. They don't deserve the benefit of me. Okay? And this is for you as well. This is self-love, right? That's self-love. Okay, I'm a super, no, bitch. No, you ain't. No, you're not. No, you're not. No, no, no. But back to the topic, toxic types hide in these particular places because it's the easiest place to have their cover up intact. Okay, they know that they're going to fool most people. They know that most people are asleep. They're aware. They're fully aware. And so what they do is lean into the ignorance. They lean into it. So if they go into sector spirituality, right? And they're trying to hide there. Well, they know that most people are just looking to feel better. They know that most people are just like super, impressed by sensations and all these external things, and could really truly care less about any kind of real awakening, bitch. And so they're going to lean into that, right? Same thing with religion. They know most people are, using this stuff as a badge of honor because it sounds like the right thing to do. But if it came down to it, bitch, you know what I'm saying? They'd be on Christmas, Easter, funerals, weddings, special occasions, and emergencies. Right? But in terms of any real transformation, no. No. And so they know that all it takes is to go in and just, look at the culture, bitch. Boom, scan, bitch. Okay. They like it when people cry and fall out. They like it when, people give a shout out to the leadership. They like it when whoopty whoopty woo. They. Yeah. And then they know that there's going to be in the midst, there's going to be somebody, some pure souls that come in there hurting, looking for refuge, because usually the pure souls were reared in toxicity. So they know they're coming and they're looking to take full advantage of that. They're looking to sow seeds of doubt. They're looking to make you feel like something's wrong with you. Ain't nothing wrong with you. The issue is awakening, coming out of the bullshit, the toxicity, and the traumas that's been inflicted. But ain't nothing wrong with you. Hey, somebody says, hey, Bloom, hey, what it do? Right? I'm giving the playbook, y'all. Y'all know every so often I'm going to come on here and do what I do. I like to provoke people to think. Think. People think they're thinkers, but they're not. Think. 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 Come out of them hazes. I think there's this saying about like bees. I'm like, now I can't be quoted, but so, I forget what they call it, where like if you're trying to tame bees or something, it's like, I don't know if you put some stuff in the air, bitch. I don't know, right? But there's this phenomenon that you can make them get catatonic, right? And that's exactly what these are, the toxics in these arenas do to people. Where you ain't even your own thinker no more. You're just a drone now. You're just a drone. Brainwashed. Mind hacked. Okay? The energy harvest. All of those hands laying and transferring and all of that shit. When it's toxic individuals, this is what's happening. And this is why some people, a light one will go somewhere and people want to get in the light one's energy. Oh, I would like to work on you. I'm sure you do. I'm sure you do. Because yeah, I'm sure you do. Coming from that ego, those lower minds, and this is unfortunate. I'm going to tell y'all, yes, this is unfortunate because it's like, wow, the exploitation of people that are sincerely seeking some kind of help. And instead of getting that proper help without all of these weird nigga bitch conditions and weirdy energies connected to it. Without you needing to sign over your soul and autonomy as a grown-ass motherfucker. Hurting you and your children with their nasty energy. But they have the greatest cover-up of all. They got the Ken and Barbie smile, the Ken and Barbie outfit, bitch. And a whole lot of praise and worshipers, otherwise known as flying monkeys. That is an actual term. Also known as tongue biters and enablers. To continue to perpetuate the illusion. If you guys can accept this, high vibers, this is going to help. This is going to be a part of what liberates you from feeling that cognitive dissonance or confused because so-and-so is in this arena and so is in that arena and so has this position and so has this title and so has this spiritual band or so has this religious band. If you can accept, one of the hardest things to accept, because again, I get it, these are supposed to be the places that true unconditional love operates, but not as a predatory trap energy to get people to be vulnerable and take their guard down and then to be treated like shit later. When you don't comply and conform like most cults operate to what they command, whether this is directly or indirectly. You don't need fixing. People are always trying to fix somebody. That projection. If individuals actually held the frequency of divine love and operated in that, that's the primary goal. Ain't nobody assigned them or no one else to no fixing. Let's fix our character. Let's fix that. Let's fix our own hearts and souls, energy and frequency that would allow us to treat people inhumanely. Let's focus on that. Wanting to fix somebody. Let's fix that. Let's fix whatever's in us that feels justified with trying to ruin people's lives out of our own disillusionment in our own minds. Let's fix that. Want to fix someone? Is it perhaps our own brokenness we're projecting? Somebody gave targets and thank you, whoever sent the rose. I'm just saying, I'm not trying to be it's strong conviction, you guys, here, but really it's simple for me, to me. But it's exposing the true nature. See, this is why I shared the playbooks, because it's going to expose the root. It's going to expose the foundation of what's actually operating. Yeah, they can throw down a C note. Yeah, they can throw down $1,000. Yeah, they can make Sherman chocolate cake and gumbo and greens. Yeah, they could, you know what I'm saying, hold a Reiki circle and boom. Yeah, that don't mean shit. Yeah, they can pray. Yeah, they can preach. Yeah, they can do a bomb Reiki session. What does that mean? Nothing. It means nothing. What is their frequency? What is the nature of their secret life? How do they treat people? How are they treating you? Are they treating you humanely when you're not kissing their ass? Because see, people will treat you all sorts of ways as long as you're bowing to their expectation. But when that's not happening, how are they treating you? Does it, all that love energy certainly turns into shitty energy? Now you become a topic of smear campaign projects now? What happened? What happened? What happened to all that? Yeah. Different than them because you don't agree. These types of toxic realities and culture is about abusing people who don't agree. Yeah, I said that because it's the truth. Weaponizing those three arenas I mentioned regarding anyone that won't bow. We'll then stop looking. See, once upon a time, I was like always trying to, throughout my searching of truth, I was always sincere and I was always all or nothing. That's always been my energy. Not saying I was perfect, not saying that I didn't have any failings or failures and issues. I'm saying that I was always sincere and I was always wholehearted. I was always give it all I got, no matter what, the process, the seeking. And I would try to the best of my ability to, okay, this is the culture, this is the place, like, okay, try to be it, try to, what I'm saying, whoop-de-whoop. And what I've had to learn is, oh, honey, this just doesn't work. You'll find yourself contorting, and it still is never enough. You go to, church A, church B, church C, Reiki center A, B, C, political arena 1, 2, 3, whatever. And you're going to find over time that it's really never enough, because when you're dealing with a lot of fragmented souls, a lot of toxic individuals, it was really never about it. And if you're a light one, you're triggering them whether you know it or not. And they're never going to be comfortable unless they're making you uncomfortable. They need you to be their pet, their project, their guinea pig, so that they can feel like they're somebody. It's never enough. You'll lose more and more of yourself. And what I've had to come to grips with is like getting okay with, look, if you have to be anything other than what you are, then that's not the place for you. If something is off and you can't fully shine without people getting their panties and chonies all tied up in a bunch, bitch, you know what I'm saying? Well, whatever. Then something's off then. Perhaps those people aren't as developed as they appear. Just because they have a business don't mean shit. And I don't care if they got 100 million subscribers, followers. I don't care if they have, listen to me. If we're honest, those of us that have ran across different types of people, that's not an automatic reveal of their level of maturity or soul evolution because they've managed to have a business. All it takes is the right connections and some money, bitch. Come on, shit. And those in the toxic arenas, they know who they are and they know I know. I'll just say it this way. What they do. This is why we must kind of get to our place of like, let me go on a hermit energy. Let me get into that hermit card in a good way. And let's go ahead and allow their so-called isolation spells, which is never going to work on a natural introvert. That's dumb. But they'll figure this out one day. But let's go ahead and use that Virgo energy so that we can tap into all that. We have the answers, source light, the divine in us, God, us, in us. We are higher selves, ancestors. But this requires isolation. It requires ceasing to look for all these external places that may be full of karmics. What really got my attention one day is when I asked myself a question. I asked myself, I said, well, it's okay. Just to be fair, all things being equal. I said, well, what makes me think that just because, okay, I know about toxic energy, sleep energy, karmic energies, So could they not be in these arenas? Just because this is the arena doesn't mean that there's no karmics. Doesn't mean that they're all, I'm just being honest here. Just because they have a skill set. Just because, you know what I'm saying? Does it... Just like I figured out, just because someone seeks something from you, it doesn't necessarily meaning that they're of a divine energy. I ain't crazy, collective. I just don't say nothing. I know not every person that has come to me for some kind of reading or service or whatever, I know that some of those same individuals are karmics. I know that some of them had hidden dishonor. See, you can't really fool a high priestess. And a high priestess usually won't tell you. You'll never know. You'll never know. You'll never know. She may smile and give you your reading, bitch. And she may word it in a different way, bitch. I think I did that before, not even realize that I was doing that until later. And I was like, ooh. When I went back, I was like, oh, shit. I was like, that's why I said that. That's why I said it like that, not even knowing that that was why I had said it like that in the personal reading I had did. Because I'm aware. They watch readings. They go to Reiki circles. Come on. They're in church. They're at the Reiki center. That's why I tell people, you really think they're not there? This is their favorite places to frequent. Posers, because most of them are posers. They're trying to impersonate divine feminines and masculines. They've been rehearsing and studying divine feminines. I'm just keeping it on the one. You heard? They've been rehearsing and studying divine feminines and masculines behind the scene. And then trying to impersonate them simultaneously while they're trying to off them off. Okay? Somebody put a lot of target signs at the bottom. I'm just saying. So if we can accept this, this is going to lighten the load. Embrace the hermit mode, bitch. You heard? You'll end up, well, maybe it's not fair for me to say it because I'm kind of a natural introvert, but I'm telling you, if you embrace it, you're gonna come to love what's discovered. And then as you get ready, as you're coming out of hermit mode, oh, you're coming out with power though. It's hard for people to fuck with you. That's all I'm gonna say. It's hard, bitch. Once you go down, once you go down that path, y'all, I'm telling y'all, watch. Once you do, allow yourself to go to the hermit mode, bitch, boom, bitch. And, accept that motherfuckers target certain arenas because, you know what I'm saying, they're predators and, you know what I'm saying, whoop, impersonators, predators, whoop-de-whoop. When you come out, your sniffer, you know what I'm saying, whatever you want to call it, your sniffer, your thing. That may not be a good way to put it. I said your thing. You're going to be short, bitch. It's going to be like, oh, see, that isolation be serving, bitch. Somebody says, wait, what they say? Something about Bloom. Wait, hermit mode is something serious, Bloom. Right? Y'all laughing at me, huh? But y'all come back with the, man, boom, bitch. When you come out, picture this. Like, when you come out of there, well, picture like whatever your favorite movies is, bitch. When you coming out with the walk, right? Done. Whatever theme music you want to play, bitch. Like, just because you're in a whole nother vein. Because now it's like, you're like, ain't worried. You're just like, waiting for somebody. You be almost waiting because you want to practice, bitch. You're like, I'm waiting. Oh, shit. Today, was it today, Light Team? Today, I think it was today, I did something funny. And it was maybe my own inside joke, whatever, because I laughed myself, right? I was outside, boom. I don't know what I was doing. I was supposed to go on a nature walk, something. I was outside. And it was quiet as usual, but, then this one car came by, kind of was going really slow. Like they were driving like extra slow. And so for me, my radar go. So once upon a time, my reaction would have been different. But this time, y'all ain't going to believe it. Y'all be like, oh, shit. So this time, I was like, So I kept walking up. I was like, actually, like I was walking towards the car. Yeah, I'm like that, like that. I walked towards the car, and it was still moving, but it was going slow. So it just kept going. And so what I did is, as it kept going, I walked into the middle of the street, right? And then I turned, just picture this, okay? Then I turned face like the back of the car, because it was still going. I turned face because I wanted just in case whoever the motherfucker was on just in case status, bitch. I was like, boom. I turned around, like stood straight there in like this superhero pose, bitch. And I was like, And then I started laughing. I'm like, Brandy. I was like, girl, they may not know you. I said, well, sure, they may not know, but just in case, bitch, because I'm right here, motherfucker. Come over here. That's where I'm at with it. Oh, that's where old Bloomy bloomed. You heard? Once you go into the hermit and you allow whatever needs to happen, something happens to you. And I can't quite put my finger on it. And then I laughed because I was like, dang, because I saw my own energy. I felt my own energy. I was like, ooh, shit. I don't know if I think I was like, my ancestors gonna wring them motherfuckers necks or what? I don't know what the fuck. Because I was like, come over here. I want you to look in the rear view mirror, bitch, and I want you to see me, bitch. It's like, I want you to see me standing here, not moving. That's what I want. You heard? Come on back on the over here status. Come. Whether I knew them or not, I don't care. But see, I'll admit, it takes a lot of time, a lot of that introspection, being isolated, allowing yourself to heal, meditation, clearing your energy, whoop-de-woo, all of the shit we do behind the scene. And then you start to feel more comfortable with the unknown. Because now you know that you're sharp. Now you know it's like, woe unto those, this kind of energy. Like now you know. It's like, I'm aware. Yes, let's have some fun. Go ahead, make my day. I really mean that. Like I own a for real serious status. Like I mean that. Yes, I do. Because it's like I said, old Bloomy minds her business and tend to her life and her business. So anything and anyone insisted upon, well, then go ahead and make her my day. That's where I'm at. You heard? Oh, I had a weird dream. I had a weird dream, man. I don't know the fullness of it yet. I'm just kind of waiting to see what ends up unfolding about it. But I know I was talking to some of the ancestors or one of my ancestors, and I couldn't quite put my finger on it when I came out. I was like, I think I was talking to one of them. But there was like this big, huge spider that was after me. It was huge. And I trapped it, like in whatever, I don't know where I was at, but I trapped it. Whatever the big spider is, bitch, I trapped it somewhere. I don't know how I managed to trap it. That's the part I'm trying to remember. It was, how did I trap it in this bathroom? I got it trapped. And then after I trapped it, then I was talking to my ancestors or something about it. It was a trip. I'm still waiting to see what that unfoldment is. But I digress a little bit here. Liberate yourselves, y'all. I'm sorry officially for, your process or your pain or your dark nights of the soul while you're trying to recover and heal from traumatic events, and while you are trying to be a seeker of truth. I am sorry for all distorted misrepresentation of spirituality, religion, the feminine, the masculine, and especially kinfolk. I am sorry, for any unnecessary, undue confusion and pain or exploitation of your situation from people that subscribe to be so-called humanitarians, and they want to say they're empaths, and they want to say they're these things, but they were the very reasons behind a lot of trauma in people's lives. I want to officially say that as a divine feminine, sure, it serves for you all's awakening, because I personally had to go through it the same, but I still don't wish that upon anybody. If we're decent human beings, ideally, we're not posing to be problems for people who are trying to find their way. We're not posing as people that are, exploiting people already hurting and looking for what we can get out of it, bitch. Instead of being sincere, legitimate philanthropists, as some people are calling themselves, trying to say, bitch. I'm sorry for every bit of that, especially where your children. I have a special place inside of me with that. Children and special needs community. I have a special bear energy that's enjoying some things at this time now on an energetic perspective. All these people want to talk about how loving they are and supportive they are and giving they are and all these things, but they're behind further harming people, the very people that they're going around talking about they're trying to help. Ought to be shame. And I'm sorry. I really am. And hope that any one of you out there are able and to manifest yourself a sacred, safe space for you to be able to heal in peace. For you to be able to go into the hermit mode and ain't got to lay down with a lunatic. Or somebody putting shit in your food in the cabinet, bitch. You know what I'm saying? Weirdos. I sincerely hope you're able to find that, manifest that, set intentions for that. You deserve to be able to recover and then step into your divinity and power, which is going to make you a force to be reckoned with. They can do all their stalking all they want, but they're not about to get the same reaction. You got to get okay with people thinking you're crazy. I did a little short here for you guys. And I'm not talking about those that are actually criminally insane. But y'all know what I'm talking about, because in this culture and society, it's flipped. They're calling people with reactive abuse crazy. They're calling people that's eccentric and different and authentic and waking up and coming out of the illusion crazy. They say you hear voices, collective, but what voices are they hearing? What are they listening to? What kind of directives are they getting? And if those directives aren't operating in benevolence, then guess what it is? I don't care what they call it. Guess what it actually is? Because if their directives that they're getting is okay with causing hurt and harm to others out of their own mind and their thoughts and their beliefs, then guess what? Those directives aren't from the place you think. So who's crazy? You guys got to be okay with that. That's one of the first hurdles that's going to help you get stronger as well. Let them call you crazy. Okay. Another thing that's going to help you along the way is when you start releasing the need to appease people. I used to be that way too, because, nobody wants to just be rude, right? But see, these are the very things that people will exploit too if they can. They're going to send a little lady, whatever it is that's going to make you take your defense down, whatever it is that's going to make you, you know what I'm saying, just say, oh, I'll just tolerate it because it's just this, everybody's got a different thing that causes them to do that. But I stopped doing that. Another thing about people talking about what God said, when I released that, that was a major freedom because everybody is going around talking about that. And that's a tactic to disarm people, to make you automatically go, if I got stories to tell, if I can tell y'all about how many times I heard somebody talking about something, about what God said, and what those very same people ended up doing in their behavior and their conduct towards me. Man talking about God said you they wife. Next week, God didn't say it. So what, yeah. Getting over releasing that. Because just because somebody formulate their mouth to say something and they put something in front of it to make people listen. We have to learn. But nobody can do this for us. And so I'm saying it because I know nobody can do it for us. I had to get to that place myself. And until we're ready, then, we fight that, right? Because of the programming, the brainwashing, the conditioning. We need to learn how to feel into energy. We don't owe anybody anything. You have a right to your own mind, and you still have a right with that mind to be treated properly. And if people aren't doing that, then that should be your number one flag that whatever they saying they about, they off. They're off. Okay? Embrace the hermit. It's going to help you to clear your energy too, because you're not going to be super convoluted by mixing yourself and your energy with all these various different people in a time where you're trying to find truth, when you're trying to get clarity. Sometimes the best thing we can do is isolate and go within and then seek and ask for divine synchronicity and for you to be guided to the resources and things. For a while, I had to utilize the internet, and that was almost better for a while because, like I said, in these 3D arenas or whatever, it's like it'd be a mixed bag. And when you already have dealt with a lot, you don't need now another off motherfucker coming in your energy and being triggered by, because they can smell and sense you're a divine feminine, you're a divine masculine, or because you're handsome or you're pretty or you're well spoken. It's like, good gracious God, people need to go somewhere and heal. Shit. Okay, I'll be. I'm just saying, it's like it's annoying. It's like, come on, shit. Anyway, hang in there. It gets better. But we some badasses, man. Embrace your badass energy. And this is the one thing they didn't want you to have. The one thing they didn't want you to be. They want you to feel weak, needy, childlike, catatonic state. You know what I'm saying? Confused, all that shit. No. I see. And you will too. As you follow your higher soul's, guidance. One day at a time, one moment at a time, one step at a time. And start observing people on a more holistic sense. Because it's not just about what people say. It's about what they don't. It's not just about what they do. It's what they don't. It's not just about these physical actions. It's their frequency and vibration and intentions. This is the stuff we aren't taught in school. We're not taught that. Okay, people that are following you, but you rarely see them active. Like, these are certain little subtle things you can start to pick up on, and just, you don't have to make a big deal of it, but you'll start to know who's who and who's really for you and supporting you and who's not. Okay? All right, guys.